Good morning, everyone. I'm a bit lost this morning on what to talk about. I know what I want to talk about. The question has come up, are animals spiritual? Oh, do they? Yeah. Yeah. Can they sense this, that? Well, so, okay. I ended up watching something. I thought, oh, that's interesting. Let's see. And the far reach back, okay, and on biblical terms, to the Garden of Eden, on how, again, one animal was singled out as, okay, we all know the snake, the serpent, okay. And I listened, and then so the bite of a snake became poisonous, and there was a reason for that. I'm going, oh, okay, well, what about some spiders? Well, not all snakes are poisonous to begin with, so that's already, okay. Nope, nope, then you don't get to assume why some animals have a certain poison, this and that, again, it's to hunt, it's to survive, this and that. Where I live here, you got snakes. Yes, and the thing is, different types of poisonous snakes, okay, they don't coexist. They either they recognize, one could say, well, one or the other drives each other out. Really, a copperhead is poisonous, but not poisonous to the point where, except for if it's a small child, this snap. But even, I know here, we had this itty bitty little dog here, okay? It didn't stay here long. It ended up being somewhere else. It ended up being somewhere. It was brought here. And yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, how's that little thing going to survive here, right? It's more of a lap dog for people, and that spunky little thing. And then it turned out that someone saw a picture of it from here, Facebook, and so it happened to some of my children who were traveling to another place, Baltimore, I think it was, to visit people that had come from California to go and visit their parents in Baltimore. So they were going to meet because we'd lived there next to them for a long time. So okay. And they ended up saying, oh, we want a little dog, we want it. And I'm going, okay, maybe that's better than being here. Ended up going there. They had it for a while, then found out later that they didn't want it anymore. Well, I can't figure out why. That was a sweet little dog. And I don't know where it ended up. Yeah, one of those times where I should have just kept that little thing here. Why, right? Yes, you entrust something that, okay, it's kind of ended up here, but it seems like that would be a better place, ended up not being a better place. We learn our lessons, right? Yeah. It's difficult to entrust animals that you love or come to love, or animals that even were only with you for a short time. Difficult for me, difficult to let them go when I know this is a perfect place for any animal. Okay, yes? But, okay, so there it is, the but. Ugh. And that little dog ended up getting bit by a big copperhead. This was not a small one or anything. It was a big, full-grown, which I would think, but the thing is, of course, adult snakes are poisonous. They control their poison. It's a baby that you gotta watch out for when it comes down to, because they haven't controlled their poison. They shoot everything in, but a baby doesn't have the amount of poison, surely, that an adult poisonous snake would have. And I gave it. Did I give it? I think I gave it right away to coal dust, or did I not? I can't remember now if I did or not. But it survived. A little thing, no bigger than a baby, survived it just fine. Okay, it's a dog system and how it digest certain things the same as a baby's? Surely not. Okay. We are different as humans in many different aspects, right? Yes? So, a copperhead, if you as an adult get bit by a copperhead, most likely you don't even have to go to the doctor, this and that. You might have a place wherever it bites you that's going to be a lifelong, a little bit numb, this and that, but you can survive a bite like that just fine. Okay? Yes. From a copperhead. Now we have rattlesnakes. Okay, not here. Because again, we have copperheads, no rattlesnakes. But just a few miles over, a couple of miles over, there are the rattlesnakes. You get bit by a rattlesnake, you probably don't want to take a chance and do get taken care of when you get bit by a rattlesnake, okay? A child definitely, I'd say a younger child will die, okay? Yes, I've never been bitten by a poisonous snake. And I said that. I had to say that, right? Yeah, they're just waking up now. This is the time for them to come out. And at end of May, early June is when they start to crawl. Yes. I found that there has never been a snake, a poisonous snake here that I came across that actively was targeting us. Never. I'd say instinctively they know they're too big of a target. And only if they get bothered to snap do they go on the offense, or defense rather, right? Because we're always the offense to them. Always. And go on the defense. And what do they have to defend themselves? Not against anything else for that matter, unless they're hunting. Right? Then, okay. Well, they got to eat too, right? Interestingly enough, they don't eat that often, right? So, and then we have, what we have here is black snakes, rat snakes, and they're non-poisonous. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there are non-poisonous snakes. Well, why is that? So which particular snake in the Garden of Eden? Okay, I'm just saying, okay? People, make sense out there, okay? Makes sense when you're using certain things in the realm of the principles of creation that then you want to adapt somehow to what? The principles of love, per se? Make an example out of an animal, this or that, or what was in the Garden of Eden happening? Okay, I'm just saying. Makes sense. Because if you're not making sense to an intellectual mind, now you're lying. And your lies can be easily proven with what that just said. Interestingly enough, that rat snakes and black snakes are the enemy of a copperhead. Okay. So, where you have a poisonous snake, there's usually a non-poisonous snake keeping them in check. Interesting, right? Yes, okay. And just as the copperheads are after our baby chicks, well, guess what? So are the black snakes. Yes, I've caught one over here where a hen happened to be just sitting behind her elephant ears on a bunch of eggs, right? Okay. And now suddenly we hear, and I'm looking, and there is a black snake, huge black snake, had furled itself around the chicken, trying to get what? Oh, eat the chicken? It's way too big to eat. The snake knows that, but guess what she was sitting on? Oh, okay. So we had to, we saved the chicken and her eggs, that. And sadly, okay, sorry, the black snake didn't make it. Oh, okay. So are animals spiritual? Then the next thing was, well, So in the Garden of Eden, Adam got to name all the animals, and we have to domestic animals. Okay, all right. You just lost me right there. When were animals domesticated, and how they, are the friend of the people? Really, right? But pigs are domesticated, right? Yeah. Well, how do they live? You got your pig in the house. Huh? Where are domesticated pigs kept? Huh? For consumption, for example. Are two pigs here? They absolutely live the life of, dear me, two little princesses, right? Two big princesses now, right? And do they know who you are? Absolutely. Do they react this? No, absolutely. And you can tell there is this give and take that you have with them. Right? Yes, yeah. According to what a relationship between a human and an animal is possible. Or horses. I guarantee you, if they had their say when it comes down to it. So let's give you a choice. Do you want to just be, in a stall where then, you get ridden so many times, this, that, but the most of the time you spend in a stall, because you need to be kept clean and sleek and I don't know what and pretty looking, right? Because that's the thing. Or would you rather be out with a few other horses, be your own little herd, do your thing? Yeah, come back and kind of be taken care of. As I said, with the horses, sometimes I wonder, who's your master? Am I your master or are you my master? Right? Yes? Okay. What do you think, David? Choose. All right. Anyway, then I see the one mama chick that we have over there. She still has all 5 of her baby chicks. I'm really amazed that one little one made it, but it did. And it's amazing to me to watch her and how when the 5 somehow get separated. Huh? Yesterday I walked into chicken. I goes, there's only 3. Oh my gosh, did she lose 2 of them? And I could tell she was like, trying to figure out how to. The pigs were in there. And she was. I was trying to get them outside to eat. Right? Yes. And then I noticed that, there's the other 2 outside, right? And she was all in a kind of trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to do? But she wasn't in a tizzy or anything. You could just tell she was definitely trying to figure out, where are all of my babies? How does a chicken know that she's missing some, right? Yes? All right. They're connected. By what? The heart of a mother. Whose instinct is what? That's what it is in animals. To make sure all her babies are safe. To teach them how to look for food. This is very interesting to watch that with chickens. So chickens are domesticated. Are they like my best friend or just no? So again, when one uses examples on how animals are spiritual because they're what? We domesticated them. Now they became more spiritual, or we noticed they're more spiritual. This is a bunch of baloney. Okay, but that's not what it is. What it is that where has how did everything come to be here on earth? Every tree has a spiritual life. Every plant does. Every blade of grass. Yes, and it has a particular function that in order to survive, in order to grow this net, it draws energy from where as well. I said that about the moon in a way, right? On how, okay, that's a very, very specific relationship that plants and the moon have, right? That we're not a part of. No, we're not. So different things, for different things, were created for balance and for the greatest, to be nurtured and in the most wonderful way. And it is the same between animals and human beings. So what's the spiritual nature truly? When you live on earth with animals, you treat them properly. That's what you do. You learn what the best environment for them is. To have a life that then, I said that with my goats before. People say, how can you eat them? You raise them. Well, but I have this proper relationship with them. And the ones that I do raise for food, they have a beautiful, they grow up in this absolute perfect environment. So as the human first, I give to the animal. And of course, the nurture and the care, the love I give to them. Then eventually they give back by what? Nurturing me. Sustaining me. Yes, that's a proper relationship right there. So, yeah, I'm very conscientious on what meat I eat when it comes down to it. And some meat that comes into this house, I looked at and I said, I don't eat that. Why is that? So, does that go again? Then does the spiritual connection that we have to the principles of creation go beyond the death of an animal, or the quality of a vegetable or a fruit? So, one wants to again make can animals sense spiritual life? Do they have a spirit? This and that. It's in this fantastic realm of yeah, and then what you're going to do with it. So, okay, I've seen this where suddenly one of our dogs was just weird. There was nothing around, and they acted odd. It's not. Now look, I said, oh, okay, well, you have your give and take with whatever's going on. But as far as that is now, that I recognize as the animal having some kind of a spiritual nature that is reacting to another spiritual nature that has no physical form, I said, no, I'm not going to do that. Because then again, we're looking for a phenomenon, right, that how's that going to serve me in any way? Alerting that there is, well, if you have a home that is well balanced, and where you're not attracting negative energy, then positive energy was okay, great, cool. Then why do you need to know that? Just wondering, what purpose is there? Is there a purpose for it? It comes down to it. Animals don't need restoration. Okay, human beings do. They have to restore the care, the abuse, again, towards animals. Though your heart to mind, your conscience should tell you how to treat an animal, regardless. It's again humans who have to restore. Plants don't need to restore things. Because they're under the principles of creation, not the principles of love. The principles of love, that's what we are under. That's where we are guided. That's what guides us. Then to take what? To take care, to be the masters of the principles of creation. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Again, right? Here's this huge infinite realm in spirit world, right? Yes? And people want to just kind of close that down to one particular thing, that becomes somehow important. Does that exist? Rather than you don't need to reach back 6,000 years and then make up stories about animals and their spirituality or whatever. Right? Look at where your life is when it comes to that. Right? Some people have no connection to animals at all. None. Zero. Right? I don't know why. I have no idea. I don't know how my life would be without any kind of animal around me or not growing plants. I probably would feel a bit lost. Yes, that's maybe why people surround themselves with so much materialistic stuff, right? Yes, or are always on the go, never stop, right? To take a moment. Well, anyway, so there it is. Yeah, can people talk to animals and find out what's wrong? Well, maybe, I don't know, I have no idea. I've watched some videos like that. I think I mentioned that before in another video where I watched them going, yeah, okay. When you have worked with animals, for example, there's this one guy out there and he works with dogs. I've watched many of his videos to learn from as well. And the one thing that I noticed, right, is that, so here comes this guy, this stranger, into someone's home who has a dog, for example, who has problems, right? And they want these problems fixed. So this guy comes in as a total stranger, and within a few hours a day, I'd say within the first 30 minutes, the animal's already reacting completely different towards this complete stranger, okay? Then the advantage that they kind of been taking off their own owner, this snap, realizing, I just came across a master of the principles of creation, and I better behave. And the thing is the immediate response of the animal on knowing how to behave once they were like, yeah, you don't get to do this. And it's not even that bad behavior needs to be addressed. It's more, you already know. You already know this is not the way to go. That's how this guy approaches this. Like, looks at the animal. And just like I say with children, you have problems with children, it's most likely you yourself as the parent who's the problem, not the child. He does the same thing. It's not the dog, it's you. You see what I mean? So animals respond to what? The best. If they're domestic animals, when they're treated properly, when they're treated as what they are, a dog, for example. Right? And interestingly enough, the guy leaves, and that's it. The owners of the dogs, all they see is their problem dog. This is a problem. I love my dog, but this is a problem. And just they're looking at the dog rather than at themselves and going, I'm the problem, actually. My dog's just fine. But my dog's acting exactly towards me and then everybody else out there according on how I view the dog. Letting a dog get away with things, this, that. Again, I saw an interesting little thing happening here, which really is on my mind now because I'm going to be leaving in about a week. And they'll be here without me for about 3 months. And we have our place over here, there's a rocking chair, there's another chair, and there's a little space behind it. And Bo, our oldest one, was laying behind the chair, while Sissy was sitting in the rocking chair. And, Jake goes and he starts kind of in this small space, kind of trying to play with him, which we don't allow really on the porch, And then here comes Gus and also goes in. Now you have 3 big dogs in a really small area, right? With Sissy sitting right there, which is, okay, Bo and my sister-in-law, that's like, Bo's attention is always on my sister-in-law, always. I mean, it's like, that's where his attention lies, okay? And it's a very protective instinct that he has. Now, here are these 2 dogs, and he's underneath this net, and there's all this stuff going in a really small space with 3 big dogs. What do you think could happen? One little thing, and these dogs would be into it, okay? Oh, into it. Okay, as I said, there's no room to jump back. There's no this or that. So they would all stay right in, right? And I've watched that, and I had to, nope, come on, guys, broke them up immediately. Come on, out of there, the snap, da. And I'm thinking, okay, is everybody, while I'm not here, going to be aware of on what's going on. And if not, then what could the consequences be? Right? Yes. Not because of the dogs, because of the adults not paying attention when you own big dogs like that. Right? So what am I going to do? I'm going to eliminate that space back there. I'm not going to wait for trouble. I'm going to eliminate that space. Then I'm going to let everybody know, no, and beware, and I better not hear of any problems that the dogs created, because then I already know it's not the dogs, it's you. Yeah, see? Okay. So you want to be spiritually in tune with the principles of creation, okay? Then you have to pay attention on what is going on in the principles of creation and what is normal per se. What do I want to say? I want to use a different word. What the goings on are in the principles of creation per se. Right? Yes? Spiritual or physical, what does it matter when it comes to the principles of creation? Right? I find it interesting on how I've noticed that again. Okay, so here I am. I'm here all the time. And I hear about every little problem, this or what needs to be done, right? Yes? You ever come across that? Oh, this and this and this needs to be done. Yeah. No, said, well, why don't you do it? But if it's something that I can do, I'll go and do it. I go and do it. I fix it. I do that. All taken care of, right? And the odd thing, then I have to say, after some time, did you notice I actually did that? Oh, yeah, I noticed this, but didn't say anything. Thank you for doing that. Oh, I saw that you took care of that. That's it. No, nothing. Yes? Isn't that odd? On how people notice when something isn't right, isn't the way they want it, doesn't look quite good, this or that, needs to be mowed, needs to be done, fixed here, this or that, right? Yes? Yeah? Then when you do it, actually, there's no reply back. That's not being noticed. Oh, right. Interesting? Yes. So there is, again, odd things, in my opinion, even when it comes to the spiritual, that people are into or find some kind of a fascination with, okay, and then make things up, right? Because you can. It's going to prove what happened 6,000 years ago, right? Yet, if you are in tune, just a little with nature, with the principles of creation, and with the principles of love, on the way how we are supposed to take care of things, not things out there taking care of us, in a way, yes, then you know that there is a give and take, first of all, and a give and take's only possible in that way, right? If, of course, everything has a spiritual nature. Everything originates from where when it comes down to it, right? Yes? I've said this before where people think they're inventing something, this snap, but it's actually already invented. Right? As I said, spirit world is so infinite, and things are still being done there, in many different ways. And of course, always on the side of goodness. Right? And the thing is, one would think, well, then you have also, kind of the, hell, evil spirit world, or kind of broken spirit world. And that's another thing. No, there's nothing broken in spirit world. It's just broken people are there. Interestingly enough, there are no broken animals there. It's just broken people, right? Broken spirits, right? Yes? And, that's a different area now to get into. And the thing is there's nothing created there. Nothing. Things just break down more, right? They do. It's actually possible for a spirit to break down further. Yeah. Isn't that sad? Yes. but there are no animals there. There's no plants there. There's nothing. You know what there is? Interestingly enough, we read about that. No, don't put up pieces of wood next to my altar and worship that. Ooh, that brings something to mind, doesn't it? Don't put up walls or stones of something and put that, and that becomes part of the worship. Oh, I tell you what, broken spirits are surrounded by broken things. Okay? Broken things that people created even in this world. In this world. Broken things. Quite interesting. It's a bit hard to explain it, but I've seen it. I don't really ever have complete entrance into that world because, again, I think I've mentioned that before. You have to have a certain darkness with you already to be able to enter that type of world in spirit, and otherwise you can't go in. It's yeah, okay. I'm not gonna go there. It's a interesting, well, sad state of what I was able to view, and with the glimpses that I did get. Um, yeah. So I think the best thing for people who are really interested in things like that, or are curious, build a relationship with whatever animals, wild, domestic, are around you, and say no to certain things. Again, it's as simple as that. I can't control everything that comes into our house because I don't live here by myself. But I can refuse to eat certain things. I'm going, no, I'm not eating that. I don't know where that came from. It doesn't say this, or this on it. And even then, you don't know if they're really telling you the truth, but still better than nothing. And I'll just go with what I got here. Yes. So, same with, right? Yeah, people keep bringing in. I'm growing vegetables here right now. We have plenty. Yeah, it's a bit the same thing right now. People still bring in other stuff from the store, and I'm looking at it and going, well, good luck making something with it, because I'm not. I got plenty other stuff to eat right now that's way better than what you could ever bring me from the store. Right? Yes. If they want to keep spending money on things I'm not going to use up, they don't seem to be. I don't have to do anything if I don't want to, right? I used to, and I realized that I have to become stronger in my stance towards certain things. It's not hurting anybody, but I'm refusing to be a part of. Aha, right there. Yes. Why is it important, or why do people think that they need to know if their animals have a spirit? What's the reason for it? Well, if they don't, you can treat them any way you want, right? But if they do, right, then what? Your conscience comes alive about it? Why would you keep a bird, any bird, in a cage? I'm just wondering. Why would you keep a bird in a cage? That's something that's always really bothered me. Seeing a bird in a cage doesn't make any sense to me. Everybody wants to fly. Right? Yes, people want to fly. I want to fly. Yes, be free. And yet, you put a bird in a cage and a fish in a tank. Snakes in a cage. For your own what? Like snakes, so you have to have a bunch of them in little. All right, not even done. I think people get my drift here, don't you? Huh? Okay. All right, let's get going here. I have to tell y'all, my opinion, people are so weird out there. There's so many things. I'm just not getting it. But there you go. Okay, we are in Deuteronomy 19. Our 3 dogs are out right now. They're all running around, and it was very interesting. At 5:30, I went downstairs to start the coffee because Sissy had to go to work. She wasn't feeling so well. I thought, I'll just go and start the coffee and then bring her some. That gives her a few more minutes, to just wake up and collect herself. And here comes Bo already up. Yep, I'm ready to go, and it's still dark outside. And I said, no, you're not going out in the dark. We have to be a little careful with him. He's still, he felt good today. He wasn't limping us, but yeah, I'm the one now and Sissy, we watched. Okay, no, you don't need to be out there in the dark, okay? And so I said, no, you're going to have to wait until it starts getting light. And so I'm just talking to him. I said, no, you're going to have to. And he's like, immediately, he's like, his head drips. What? You're not going to? No, He watches. First of all, they all know no. Okay, no. That's already. What'd she say? That's like a negative. And then I'm shaking my head. No, that's already. It's not. Yeah, you want to go out this night? So, do they understand what I'm saying? No, they are watching what? My body language. Yes, right? Absolutely. And he immediately. This is one of the smartest dogs I've ever met in my entire life. He immediately is like, oh. So I go downstairs and come back up, and he's still sitting there like, maybe she'll change her mind, right? Which I have in the past. And I'm going back up, sitting up, and he immediately turns around, goes right back into Sissy's room. Done. And then the next time I went down, I said, okay, Bo, you ready now? And whoa, here he comes, right? I didn't even have to. I said, hey, Bo, are you ready now? Didn't even see me this or that. I said, are you ready now? Hey, here he comes, right? Yes? Oh, now it's time. Interesting? Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway. And they're all out there right now. Could be it. Only 2 come back today. I'm always grateful when all 3 come back. But this is that's what I just heard a bark. That's kind of the risk that you take when you let your animals be animals. Huh? Yes? They're way over that way. Yeah, it's got. Oh, that's Gus. Probably that sounds like the jumping around, trying to grab Jake's tail, Well, anyway, so that's the risk you take. Right? You have cats. Cats are not indoor animals, but we're going to get one. Got someone declawed. So she kind of has to be an indoor cat. Well, here they come. All 3 of them, I can tell just by the noise. And she'll have her upstairs place, and she's very shy too. So 9, 10 years old already, and needs a home. So this is not ideal here for her, but we're going to try. All right, I better get going. Homicide and cities of refuge. Deuteronomy 19. When Yahweh your God has annihilated the nations whose country Yahweh your God is going to give you, and you have dispossessed them and are living in their towns and in their houses, which are supposed to be all destroyed this night. See, it's a different account here again. Yeah. You must set aside 3 towns centrally placed in the country which Yahweh your God is giving you for your own. You will keep the approaches to them in good order, dividing the area of the country which Yahweh your God is giving you as your heritage into 3 parts, so that any killer can flee to these towns. Here is an example of how someone may save his life by fleeing to them. are you guys noticing anything? As I said, how does this compute with everything else that we've read? On when there are certain things happening, this and that, right? And it's clear there are witnesses for it. That's it. Take them outside of the camp. Done. Dead. Stoned. Blah, blah, blah. But then here again, it's, oh, but if they manage to run away and make it to one of these towns, okay. Wow, what? What is this? What is this trying to tell? I said, who is writing this down, right? And for what purpose when it comes down to it? What I see here again, when I've read through the rest of the stuff just now, and how conflicted, right, people are. We just talked about, okay, the spirit nature. Is there a spirit nature? Do animals have a spirit? You know? And can they sense other spirits? Right? This and that, right? Yes? And what was used as an example and how, and what is important when you know about that? What's the importance of it? And what did I say about the importance? Why do you need to know? If you have the proper give and take with animals, then you automatically know. You get to start to experience, right, the nature, right, of spirit that they have through the principles of creation, their instinct and this and that. Right? You will. It's the same with the plants. Right? That's a fact right there. Here, people trying to figure out, I know we do wrong, but, and here's the direction given, absolutely, to follow what? The Ten Commandments. But how can we get around it and, in a way, not even get disciplined for it? That's people for you right there. That's not God. That's people, right? That's people. Oh. You have something to say too. Okay. I don't like when he does this. Okay. Go on. Okay, good boy. That's so. I'm all dirty. No. Okay. Later. Go lay down. Everybody go lay down. Oh, you are so wet. I'm not done yet, but we don't have a long one here. Okay, already talked ahead of time. Go lay down. Go. No. Look, you drank so fast, huh? Oh, Gustus, I bet you petted Jake. Me too. Watch this. All I have to do is just bring this brush up. You see? It won't work with Jake. Jake loves it. All right. If anyone has struck his fellow accidentally without any previous feud with him, for example, he goes with his fellow into the forest to cut wood, his arm swings the axe to fell a tree, the head slips off the handle and strikes his companion dead, that man may take refuge in one of these towns and save his life. Oh, wait a minute. That has to be, people are not going to regard that as an accidental death. Really? Oh my gosh, that's too bad that happened. And they have to flee to a town, and then what? The outcome is never going to be different, right? If this is, right? And this is very convenient. Just saying, right? Yes? Also, here's the other thing, too. Again, so here they're using an example that I happen to be a part of many times, right? Even cutting trees down for chainsaw. This is now where I'm going to stand way over there, right? Out of the way. People get struck by trees falling down. Somebody's cutting a tree, and they stand right where the tree is falling. It's a hello. Okay, I'm just saying. Right? So, could be avoided. Many accidental deaths could be avoided if one were to just pay a little more attention. Again, to what? Follow the guidelines. Follow the laws. Right? Yes? Okay, so, but here then, it's not just killing someone and fleeing to the town. Well, who says that they're not going to do that as well? And say, well, it was accidental. See, it's already. What do we got? It's a bylaw. This is a bylaw, getting around it, this and that, and making excuses for what? Not proper safety? When doing what? Really? Also, I mean, at that time, could that really happen that the head, a heavy head, right, of an axe will fly off? That's never happened to me. I mean, they come off, but they don't fly off. Okay? They don't. That never happened to me. They get stuck in the wood or something, and then I'm pulling the handle, and I'm going, oh, I've got only the handle in my hands now. Okay? But as far as swinging an axe, so high above this, that then it would hit, the head would fly off. That's a really unlikely scenario, right? But it's in here. Okay, I'm just saying, right? Okay, good example. I'm not sure. Where did it get that from? That happened at that time? Okay, I don't know. That man may take refuge in one of these towns and save his life. It must save his life. I mean, aren't they supposed to also first investigate this net? They have to be witnesses, this net, before you just go and kill someone. What happened to that? Oh, that's not existent? That doesn't exist anymore now? Because then you could very easily say, oh, but that was just happening. It was such a wrong place, wrong time, wrong year, didn't mean to. Anyway, it must not be allowed that the avenger of blood in the heat of his anger should pursue the killer, and that the length of the road should help him to overtake and wound him fatally, for the man has not deserved to die, having no previous feud with his victim. Are you reading? Okay, I'm not sure if you guys are getting this. I could talk all day long about this right now, on how twisted things become when people do not get the truth. Don't search first for the truth. And they were so, with all the guidance they're getting from the Levites, this and that, on how to, okay, this could happen, and when that does happen, and if you're not sure, don't let your anger, don't let your whatever, come boil over without, stay sane. What does it say here? And how people were already at that time. Because of what? One of your family members happens to get killed, this, that. Yet, we are so for war out there, right? Mobs going around this, that. Supporting all these type of things that cause death to other people. When it happens to you, you get all hyped up about this and that. And stop considering the consequences. All you see is just the death. That's a good one, just right there for that. This is a good one, a good reminder on what you should do and what not to do. Yeah, I can name a couple of examples right now that have completely gone out of hand, where people became mobs and killed innocent people. That's one thing not to do, it says here. Needs to be taught again. Hence, I am giving you this order. You must set aside 3 towns. And if Yahweh your God enlarges your territory, as he swore to your ancestors that he would, he gives you the whole country which he promised to give to your ancestors, provided that you keep and observe all the commandments which I am enjoining on you today, loving Yahweh your God and always following his ways. Then to those 3 towns you will add 3 more. If the mobs we've had in the last so many years, going all over the place, when all this stuff started, and is it new? No, but it was more so. Would have followed properly the guidance of God, number one, and the guidance that is similar, not perfect, already in place now, in many different ways for certain things. Then what? Oh, then we would have not gotten justice, this, and that. Really? if these mobs would have been right, if what they are sprouting out there and whatever doing would be right, there would not be one innocent life that would have been taken during that time. But there were children, elders, women, other men, teenagers died during that time. What about them? Huh? What about them? Huh? Yeah. Now innocent. That one life was not innocent. Okay? And who knows what the circumstances there were, but it was definitely not. There was a lot of stuff going on there. Okay? Yes? Done with that. I don't even need to know more. But how many lives after that were truly innocent taken? Because of what? Hot-blooded, angry mob out there. Yeah. Anybody who supports stuff like that, I'm sorry. That's you. In my opinion, in my view, that will never be right, ever, ever. Done. And I will not take the, oh, but if that other thing would not have happened, that does not give you leave, and this tells us right here. So easy for people to blame everybody else around them, not have a good look at themselves, their communities, this and that, and why your neighborhoods look so trashed up, and why others don't. Yes? Well, just saying. In this way, innocent blood will not be shed in the country which Yahweh your God is going to give you as your heritage. Otherwise, you would incur blood guilt. Huh. I wonder what the consequences of blood guilt are. You're going to go and look for someone else out there to blame for that blood guilt. Right? Yes? Yeah. This is definitely something that people can and not acknowledge. Right? Your own. And that is definitely all over the world. There is not one people more affected by that than another. Not happening. Okay? As I said, I mentioned before on how, Korea supposedly has never started a war, this and that, with any other countries, and that is why, it has, the privilege of the second Messiah, the second coming, this and that, which is true parents. And I'm going, okay, well, that may be true, but blood guilt is there as well, okay? Because the infighting that the Koreans had going on all through history is phenomenal. How they treated each other, how they treated especially their poor people, this and that, is atrocious. So when you have so much infighting going on, then you don't have time to prepare for a war, do you? Right? Yeah. So there are other things that went on there that, okay, don't say it in this way that, if you go and look a little deeper, actually isn't true. I mean, it's true, but only to a certain extent. And don't use that truth, right, to make another truth true as well. Or a false truth true. Right? Yes? Yeah. So what I say, it's like blood guilt. Blood guilt? Every country, every nation is guilty of blood guilt. Something to work on it together then, right? Rather than keep pointing fingers. That's something that happened, I don't know how long ago. I can't fix that. I can't fix that from the dead. But what can I do today? Acknowledge the blood guilt that what? My countries, the countries that I know, born in, now live in, I can work on those. Yes? But everybody should do that. Don't be so arrogant and think that, you're to blame for nothing. Do you know what I mean? Yes? Yeah. So, and I think this again, too. God's very much, whatever there is coming out from God here, is very much trying to beware. Make sure that you stay just. Or what happens? Well, if God can't be there supporting you, then things usually start to crumble. Cookie crumbles. It just does. Sometimes it's not that visible on the outside. Yes? Many neighborhoods in the cities are just crumbling on the inside. Nothing to do with anybody from the outside. They're crumbling from the inside. But if it happens that a man has a feud with his fellow and lies in wait for him and attacks him and fatally wounds him, and he dies, and the man takes refuge in one of these towns, the elders of his town must send there and have him taken and handed over to the avenger of blood to be put to death. Da, 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 da. You must show him no pity. You must banish the shedding of innocent blood from Israel, and then you will prosper. Well, again, it's then we can throw out the commandment, thou shalt not kill. Done. Yeah, but I'm not having any bylaws with any of that. So again, if two people have a feud, right, and they come to blows, right, and in most of these cases, both parties are willing to fight, right, then, okay, why then persecute the surviving party? Kind of doesn't make sense to me. Again, they're using interesting examples here, right? I don't know why people even come to that point where, I said, what's to say? You get angry, get hot-blooded, angry, and you are okay with doing what? And the thing again, people have to remember these things escalate. We're talking about animals. Animals get beaten to death, drowned because nobody wants the babies. That, happen. Animals get used for dog fights. Which is, to me, it's like, I can't. If there wouldn't be anybody betting on dog fights, how can anybody be a part of a dog fight? And I mean, dogs taught to kill each other. What are these kind of people? What people, like, rooster fights for me is the same thing. Bullfights. Bullfighting, I don't, SeaWorld, where whales, this and that, are kept in, okay, well, there's some, they're injured, this and that, yeah, okay, I've heard that one before. There may be, a few in the world where that is actually the case, where the animal wouldn't be able to survive out in the ocean, this and that. That now gives you the right to put them where? Often. And yeah, again, I mean, you see, circus is the same thing with their animals. If it is, but wild animals don't belong in a circus, people. Again, where has our, yes, yeah. Even as a child, going to the circus, I liked the acrobats and stuff like that. Yeah, but when the animals came out, I'd sit there and my body would start to react, and I'd sit there so tense, and yeah, not happy moments for me as a child. They just weren't. I'm sorry, I just find this weird. I have to say, I have to give it to the one zoo. I don't know how they are now. San Francisco Zoo is horrible, or was at the time when I was going with the children. I went once, I think that was it. Can't we just close down places like that? Oh, where are the animals going to go? Yeah, right, exactly. Damage is already done. Right? Might as well profit from it now. But there was one in Oakland that really tried. They had, you went to see the buffaloes that they had there, or the bison, and you just hope that from the big old enclosure, I mean, I don't know how many acres they had, just hope that they'd come for where you could see them, right? Yes. But they had another enclosure, where it'd say giraffes don't belong there, this and that. So again, a part of it, I'd say, yeah, okay. But really, when it came down to it, no. Well, anyway, it is what it is, right? How can people do things like that to animals? I don't know. It says just so you can see them. Is that what? Okay. Boundaries. You must not displace your neighbor's boundary mark, positioned by men of old in the heritage soon to be yours, in the country which Yahweh your God is about to give you. Witnesses. A single witness will not suffice to convict anyone of a crime or offense of any kind. Whatever the misdemeanor, the evidence of the 2 witnesses or 3 is required to sustain the charge. If someone gives false evidence against anyone, laying a charge of apostasy, both parties to this dispute before Yahweh must appear before the priests and judges then in office. The judges will make a careful inquiry, and if it turns out that the witness is a liar and has made a false accusation against his brother, you must treat the witness as he would have treated his brother. You must banish this evil from among you. The rest, hearing of this, will be afraid and never again do such an evil thing among you. You must show no pity. So again, this is the absoluteness of it is, well, if you do this, then others, if you don't give any leeway, then others will not do that. I've said this before. If you drink and then you go get behind the wheel, you cause an accident or you get caught, you should never have a license again, ever. You will not drive again, legally. And if caught again driving illegally, without a license, it doesn't matter if then one is drunk or not. You will be put behind bars or into a town where there are no cars, and you get to live there separate from the rest of your family and everybody else, because people like that are not fit for society. That's what this means. If you steal, if you break any of the commandments, that's what should be done with people. I don't believe putting them to death. Sounds good to me, though, to have some towns where people who just don't know how to behave properly can live with others of the same kind. I wonder, though, on how people will live without any cars anywhere in a town like that and no alcohol. Oh, well, here's the thing, right? Yes. Don't you think it's interesting on how in correctional facilities, this and that, drugs and I don't know what are just as rampant as they are here out in the street? Oh, well, how is that possible? Oh, it's, I said, how come animals don't have problems like that? Yeah? Their spiritual nature is just greater connected to what? Oh, maybe that's something we should think about. Huh? And we are so far removed, the most intelligent species on Earth, and we're so far removed from what's right and love to just do wrong. It amazes me. It really amazes me. Yes? Anyway, so there it is. And we have run out of, right? I find when people run out of ideas in a certain genre, this or that, they take it to extremes. So now we have run out of people out there with no control over lust and desire and the principles of love, have run out of things to deprave themselves and others, right? And get the kicks from it, this and that, to do what? Hey, okay. And now it's they've gotten into further even into the area of where children now are involved. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. And it amazes me on how many people are okay with that, approve of it. Unbelievable. Limits of retaliation: life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. I believe that God, our Father in heaven, our heavenly parents, have, that's the end of 19, a better contingency plan in place than an eye for an eye, a life for a life, an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Okay. Though my life might be taken by someone that's unhappy with even my videos here, this or that, or whatever, or who knows what a situation one could run into, this and that. I would not be in favor for that other life to be taken. So then I feel like, well, Father, can my concerns for another person, even though they seem to just be absolutely evil. There's no, I don't know what's wrong with them, really, but that's exactly it. I don't know what's wrong with them. Huh? I know what people aren't doing out there, but why they're doing what they're doing, really, actually, it's very difficult to figure out what the root cause is, the root of the problem. Right? And I think that's really something that just has to be addressed first. And then you just start working on that. I don't think that the answer is to just kill people. Okay? I think the answer is more you put them someplace where, well, you have to stay here for the rest of your life. But if they're around good people, again, are they around good people? Maybe for some of them there is a chance to rehabilitate. Yes, it's so absolute in so many ways. Is it really God's word? And then the Ten Commandments? Well, why bother with some of them then? Yeah, yes. But I see the goodness in every one of the Ten Commandments. The absolute good guidance from them. No, I would want that person to be given another chance in a sadly more controlled environment. I wouldn't want to happen to me if I should get murdered by someone for no better reason for just they can. Then I would want them to have a chance to be able to repent. I would also like to see for them to not be able to do that again, which means they can't live in society anymore. They can't be among people anymore. They have to be put away. And if that happens to be as young as a teenager who already has done that, then, well, so be it. I think if one wants to make an example out there to others, then death, most of the time, to people like that is not the worst thing. That's just, oh, okay. Right? It's then when they're locked up the rest of their life. Not in a, okay, I'm not, I said, I don't have the answers to all of it. We've got so many problems in this world. It's just insane. I wouldn't even really know where to start. Though I would have a plan for it all. It's like, yeah. So I think the best thing is to continue to worry about spirit life of animals and say, worry about the good energy that we can create out there, that then hopefully that spirit world can work with that energy and save a life, save a woman's life, save a man's life from another human being, most likely. Right? Yes. And stand up for the right things as well. Yes. So sad for me still. There's still videos out there. Yeah. Just saw one from an actor who, again, talked about and how the disgusting that was to watch, when an actor got up after one made a joke. Remember that one? Gets up and goes on stage and smacks him one. I'm sitting there and going, I found out what it was about, going, hey, yeah, there's a true man now. Don't make jokes about certain things. You think it's funny, but others don't think so. Hurt people's feelings like that. Put them on the spot, embarrass them. That man gets up, that husband gets up. First he's like, oh, and then he looks at his wife going, oh, that was not good. Gets up. Whose side did he just take? Another man have a problem out there with that? Ew. Ew. He gets up, he goes, he didn't kill him, didn't break an arm, this or that, didn't take an eye, didn't take a hand, didn't take a foot, didn't take his life. He smacked him one. And he deserved that smack. And then after that, who took? Yeah, who, what, yeah. And you know why they still talk about it today? Yeah, I thought that was just not that, huh? Because they're not as man, right there, huh? Yeah. Well, anyway, weird one to me. I admire that actor for what he did. Go up there and smack that dude one. For embarrassing him, making a crude, unnecessary joke about her health. Guess people didn't catch that. Well, anyway, so there it is. Good for him. Just watched the movie with his son in it too from some time back, and I thought, oh, it's got to be kind of difficult to kind of start his own career, having his dad be so famous. His boy did a great job in that movie. Wonderful acting. Yes. Yep. I hope we'll see him in some more movies, hopefully without cussing and cursing. Yes, that is something where, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, that one actor, as I said, who's not man, who's not man enough, would not be man enough to defend his woman, this not against something crude like that. Right? Oh, because everybody's laughing. Right? Said that you don't use your hand, your fist. Well, you use your words, for words, against words. Yeah? I tell you what, I'd like to have either this or a fly swatter in my hand every time someone uses the F word, the MF word, the GD word, some other words out there, okay, that are absolutely inappropriate to come out of your mouth, and smack you one, okay, to remind you don't talk that way. It's hurting our children big time. When foul language comes out of people's mouth, there's nothing to say back, because would you please not talk like that? Can you please not use language like that? And even give them a good explanation doesn't do any good. But I guarantee you, if they get zapped on the mouth every time they do that, it eventually will hit home. Yeah. That's not going to knock a tooth out. That's not even going to have them bleed, okay? But it'll hurt enough to remind them, maybe. Yes, see? Okay, all right. Maybe that's what I'll start doing every time. Give him a slap on the shoulder or something. Says, don't talk that way here. Yes. Yeah. Well, if everybody were to, as I said, it says, life for a life, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, hand for a hand, foot for a foot. Didn't say anything slap for a slap. Children don't need to be spanked. And a little slap tap on the hand is often enough to get their attention going, oh. I said, don't do that. I'll do it again. This is not something we do. But children don't need to be spanked with a switch, this or that. Absolutely not. No, because they're learning about things they don't know yet about. Yes, but adults, good spanking wouldn't hurt them. Huh? Yes. Right? Yeah. Yes. Okay. All right. He says it's time to go eat. Yep. Let's go. God's love and blessings always. May He protect you, and I'll talk to you all another time. Think about your own blood guilt a little bit. Right? Yes. Jake, let me turn this off.